Hi, my name is Avery Polk, and this is my literacy my final words around the world. So literacy centers help students from diverse cultural and linguistic backgrounds feel seen and supported by integrating stories, pictures, and activities that reflect students' lives outside of school. These centers help connect their home life and their school life. This is really important for kids that are of maybe a minority within the school so that they know that their culture is seen and heard and they are seen, even though they are different than everyone else. These differentiated hands-on learning experiences allow every student to practice reading and language arts that are fun and personable, so they connect everything back to their home life. So our first literacy center is the Story Builders Corner. The TEAC standards for this are using context to determine the meaning of unfamiliar words, and then retelling, paraphrasing, and summarizing text in a way that makes sense, that maintains meaning. So the objective of this specific center is students will use context clues to understand new vocabulary. So they'll read a book or read what I give them, and then they will use context clues like pictures or other words around it to understand what that new word means. And then they will retell the story in their own words, and then they'll connect it to their lives outside of school. So this will be set up in the reading corner. The reading corner is a really cozy, vibey place. It has flexible seating like beanbag chairs, pillows, comfortable reading pillows, like the ones with the back and the armrest, and soft lighting like a lamp. We really love cozy vibes, no big light necessary, just cozy. In the reading corner, there are book baskets, and they're separated by topic. There's pictures of families, the word walls, there's visuals in English and in other languages just to promote diversity and hopefully picking up phrases in other languages that could be like a positive affirmation in Spanish, or if they are a Spanish speaker, they'll some in English. There'll also be in this there'll be supply boxes set up for the activity that include like stories for this specific center, and then sticky notes, and then on the wall within reach there's a wall chart and a sentence starter poster. So for this activity, they will out of the different baskets of topics, of books, of categories, they'll pick out the culture book basket, and they will pick out a multicultural book. Within that book, they'll look for unfamiliar words and use context clues and picture dictionaries to figure out what that new word means. They'll write the new words they find on sticky notes and add them to the word wall, and then their definition. They'll retell the story they picked out and draw pictures to retell their story. This can be done verbally, with pictures, stick figures, anything, just to retell the story that way we, as the teacher and as the students, know that they understand what they were just doing. And they'll share the story with their classmates and make connections to their own personal experiences. Our second activity is word detectives. So in this one, the TEAC standards, they will decode multi-syllabic words and then spell words with complex orthographic patterns. And the objectives is they will decode multi-syllabic words using either the clapping method, writing it down, seeing how many syllables are in the word, or using like the arm tap method to see how many syllables in the word. We even can use like magnets to spell the word out and break it up that way too. And then they will practice spelling patterns through play. So like those orthographic patterns, those are just reoccurring structures within a system of words, like the "ite" sound in words, the IGHT sound in different words, right, light, fight, right, all of that. So in this one, this will be in a detective themed table in the classroom, decorated with, I don't know if I could find like a trench coat or something to take, fun hats. They'll get to play detectives. So it's like dress up built in with work. There's going to be a bulletin board with mystery words on it, and then a bucket with maladaptives or playful props like a magnifying glass, or if I could find some fun hats or anything that makes them feel like a detective. Along with props, there's also a worksheet, and on the worksheet, the students will write down, it's a magnifying glass. So in the middle of the magnifying glass, they'll write down their mystery word, and they will clap and break it into syllables. They can use the arm method, the magnet method, and then they will match the word to the picture like they're solving the case, and then write a sentence on their worksheet using that word. So they'll get their mystery cards from me, and then they'll break the words into syllables using claps, or the arm taps, or the magnets, or anything that they can use. And then they'll write them down in their detective notebooks. In these notebooks, they could also will be the worksheet with the notebook, so they can have more than one page to write what they need to. And then they'll spell the word with the magnet tiles on the magnet board to see how many syllables they break into. And then those mystery word cards, they will match to pictures on the bulletin board of what, once they figure out how many syllables are in, it will go in to matching with those pictures. Then they'll work as a team to brainstorm easy ways to do this with their peers, their classmates, and so they can teach them. They'll write down their solved words in their detective notebook or on the back of their worksheet. This is their worksheet. Within the magnifying glass, they'll write those mystery words and how many symbols, and using them in a sentence, and then either on the back or in their notebook, they can show them in sentences and how many symbols they have. Use those words in sentences. And my final thoughts were that designing literacy centers reminded me that literacy tools are literally tools we use every single day to make sense of the world. When students see other people like them in books, so like these multicultural books, doing the activities that they do, reading becomes really meaningful to these kids. It'll teach diversity to kids that may have not seen much of diversity in their life, or for those kids that are in the minority, that book could mean everything. Like, there are kids like me out there that do the things that I do, and I'm not the only one. And then like these culturally relevant activities can invoke curiosity within the kids that aren't in the minority, and so they might befriend the classmate that is a minority, and ask them questions about their culture, and that could be really fun. And everyone be kind to each other and be courteous of their culture, and all working as a team. I think it's really cool. I also learned that creativity doesn't have to be sacrificed to meet the TEKS standards. It's actually, they work together. Creativity and TEKS can work together to make a really creative lesson. Literacy centers connect home and school, so you take everything home. And what they learn at school, they take it home. What they learn at home, they bring to school. And if we invoke like kindness within the multicultural and the minorities of the school, and invoke kindness in taking that home, and mom and dad show them kindness to being nice to kids that don't look like you or don't act like you, or just being nice to different humans, I think it'd be great. And then I wanted to grow my understanding in multicultural settings And my goal is to create a classroom where every student, no matter their cultural background, feels safe and happy. And I truly feel like that is the bare minimum, is for a child to feel safe and happy. Thank you for listening.